Not in a million years did I expect to see a episode of Dragon Ball Super break the fourth wall. Let alone, it's by Vegeta. That, I gotta take a few moments to just process that, because, like, Vegeta? Breaking the fourth wall. Okay, well, okay. So, this episode clearly was filler, and I think by the first few minutes, you probably realized, obviously, it was a filler episode. But on the off chance, if you didn't, yes, it's a filler episode. Now, some might not know who Arare is, and I want to kind of let you know. Some might just be Dragon Ball fans, Dragon Ball Z fans, and Super fans, and they might not have ever heard of a manga series called Dr. Slump. But if this is your first time seeing Arare in the anime of Dragon Ball Super, then you might not know who this is. This character was actually a character Akira Toriyama wrote from a manga called Dr. Slump. As we know, Akira Toriyama is the writer of Dragon Ball, and also he wrote Dr. Slump, and Arare is also a character from Dr. Slump, the main female character, the protagonist, so to say. So, many, if you haven't read Dr. Slump, and if you don't know about its existence, you might not recognize this character at all. And so, this episode is kind of like a crossover between both of these series that Akira Toriyama wrote. And so, if you are a fan of both works, then you might really enjoy this episode, because it's themed around people that have seen both, works, have seen, Dr. Slump and also seen Dragon Ball, and can just enjoy these two characters kind of having, like, a crossover. And I feel like many might not like this episode if you've only seen one or the other. I mean, like, let's just say you're a Dragon Ball fan, and I mean, majority that are probably watching this are just Dragon Ball fans. They might not have ever have seen Dr. Slump, maybe the anime or the manga, and so this might be, like, their first time seeing these type of characters, and they'll be looking at, like, what the fuck is Dr. Slump, or this little girl, doing in my Dragon Ball? Why is she able to do this to Vegeta? Why is she able to do this to Goku? I mean, why is she able to do something like this? Many might be looking at this episode and thinking, like, what the fuck? This is a bad episode. But in reality, we gotta remember that Akira Toriyama has always had comedy. I mean, think of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball has a lot of comedy, and Dr. Slump is a gag manga. So, these two coming together, it does kind of make sense, and it does fit some of the themes you would see in Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Super has been a little bit more comedy-orientated compared to Dragon Ball Z. And these two coming together, it was more of just for the fans of both series, and also, I guess it's in a way trying to introduce fans of Dragon Ball to Dr. Slump, because to be honest, there is some out there that probably never heard of Dr. Slump, and this will probably be their first time seeing these characters, and they might want to hop on board to, Dr. Slump and actually start reading it or watching the anime, and vice versa. I'm not even shitting you. There's probably some out there that might watch this video or watch this episode of Dragon Ball Super, and they don't know nothing about Dragon Ball, but they might only know about Dr. Slump, and that's the only reason they watch the episode is because they love Dr. Slump, and they would love to see, Arare being animated once again. So, I mean, there's many out there that probably think like that, and just seeing these two series coming together, it's just an episode to just sit back, have fun, and just relax, and just enjoy it if you're a fan of both series. And honestly, I'm kind of sad that many are hating on this episode because of it. I mean, there was a lot of gags and all that, and there was many points of this episode that many might not like, because, I mean, look, Vegeta, yes, I don't like Vegeta becoming a punching bag. I don't like this man becoming Team Rocket and blasting off again. I'm not a big fan of that, yes, I'll be honest, but this episode was more orientated on just comedy. It was just fun. That's all it was. It was mindless fun. And I don't feel like many should take this episode seriously and think like, oh shit, my Dragon Ball's bad now, or, this is bad. You're supposed to just sit down and enjoy it. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to enjoy this type of comedy, because comedy's subjective. So, I feel like, depending if you liked it or not, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, because it is a filler, and it plays no major role in the plot of Dragon Ball Super's future arcs. So with that, I want to end this video here. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.